What up, meatheads? This is Travis, American Butcher, and this is the Meat Block Podcast, the podcast by butchers for everyone. In this episode, David is having technical difficulties at work, or not technical, just difficulties. Shit's breaking down, so I decided to call him while he was waiting for a technician. We're going to do some Valentine's Day ad-libs, but we didn't. We just ended up talking about other stuff. So hope you enjoy.
Hello.
Hello.
Hey, what's up?
Nothing much. What are you doing?
I'm working.
That sounds fun.
It's not.
Are you typing?
Yeah.
Your fancy typing job?
It feels like a typing job sometimes.
At your temp agency that you work at?
Yeah.
You don't know where you're going to be next week. You'd be in a office in Midtown or downtown or who knows?
Can you imagine, like, the recalls that there would be if our industry used temp work?
I would love it. It'd be exciting. I think it would be very exciting, honestly.
Man, I don't know.
What don't you know?
Recall paperwork that's not my thing, but you know.
Yeah.
How'd the party go this weekend?
It's pretty good. You were missed. Harrison asked a lot where you were. And I said, obviously, David just doesn't care about you. And so there.
Well, he'll remember that, and he'll probably kick my ass in like 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
For that one time I didn't come to his birthday party.
For his 3-year-old birthday party.
Man, I'm really hoping this repair guy gets here soon, I'll tell you what.
Yeah. Well, David, welcome to the Meat Block.
Hey, everybody.
Good cutting enhances the quality of good meat. Poor cutting results in an inferior piece of meat, regardless of quality.
Did you... First off, sorry to hear that you're having difficulties at work.
Oh, it happens.
I didn't go to work today because I had Harrison's 3-year-old doctor's appointment.
Oh, really?
And then when I woke up yesterday morning, I had a flat tire on a car, and the tire store that, we buy our tires from with warranty and all that isn't open on Sundays because they observe the Sabbath. And it took 2 hours, 3 hours almost to get it fixed today.
Jeez.
Yeah. And still bought brand new tires.
Damn.
Yeah.
I bought tires this weekend too.
Yeah, it's like one of those, it's like dental work or like anything. It's like nothing like I spend money on that I'm like stoked about.
Yeah. It's true. I bought a set of snow tires because I got stuck between two passes and I like just couldn't get home and I couldn't go anywhere else. And
did you sleep in your car?
For a little while, but then I got a sleazy motel room.
Like a vagabond? Were there other people sleeping in the cars, pulled over?
I imagine so.
I just didn't know if it was like the freeway was just shut down and everyone was just eating beans together and,
Like a hobo camp?
Yeah, that's what I have, but like splitting a bean.
Yeah, there was none of that.
That would have been awesome. But I'm glad you're safe. We had a lot of snow here as well, not as much as you because you live in a place with elevation.
Mm-hmm.
But we did get about, over the course of like 2 weeks, about 15 inches out here. So
wow, that's a lot, man.
Yeah, it's all gone now.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Wow, did it warm up or what? Or did it rain?
It both warmed up and rained, and so it's better now.
Yeah.
Get that link I sent you?
I did.
Did you find any other ones?
Yeah, I'm kind of looking right now. I'm sure we can come up with something here.
Yeah. I got a lot of feedback from a lot of people know a lot of Jeremys out there. And if you don't know any Jeremys, that probably means you're the Jeremy at your plant.
Do I have a Jeremy here?
No, I said if you don't know any, then you're probably him.
Oh, yeah. If you don't know a Jeremy, then you are Jeremy. That's for sure. I also was really pleasantly surprised at how many people wanted to know how they could get their hands on one of those sick, like Cabela's hunting knife sets.
I know, that was surprising too, which also just leads me to believe, like, do you guys even listen to the show or just follow the Instagram account?
Oh, man. Yeah. That made my day when I saw people like, oh, bro, where can I get that?
Dude, that's sick.
So sick.
You could get that right at the corner of fuck you and fuck off.
Mm.
Nah, I'm joking, guys. You could probably get them at, any hunting store, probably. But if you want,
like not a good one, like a Big Five Sports or some shit.
Yeah, or like a Dick's clearance section.
Yeah. The stocking stuffer area near the front at Tractor Supply during the holiday season.
Yeah, like Cabela's does like sell some garbage stuff.
Yeah.
But I like to think of them as a little bit more upper echelon because I do some of my shopping there.
Well, sure, you can get some good stuff there.
Mm-hmm. But if I were to really actually want to buy a hunting set or something like that, I would just contact Keith from Davidson's Butcher Supply. Keith from Davidson's Butcher Supply would hook you up with all the things from your hunting and processing needs. That's
Keith, eh?
Davidson's Butcher Supply, located in the heart of Southern California's meatpacking district.
Oh, I didn't know they were from California.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if I can buy a beef cradle from them.
I'm going to say yes. And
yeah,
Keith will figure it out because he's that kind of guy.
Cool. Well, I need to give him a call then.
Yeah. Cool thing about Davidson's Butcher Supply is they were started over 80 years ago by Keith's grandfather. So back in that part of California where Commerce and Vernon, California, there used to be 29 slaughterhouses.
Really?
And packing houses.
Wow.
That's where all the freeways meet, like southeast of the city of LA. And it, like, the city of Vernon, California is depicted in True Detective Season 2, where they talk about Venchi, California, where all it is an industry town with a population of like 30 people. So It's just like super, it's had a very corrupt history in its past.
Really?
Yeah, because like the mayor and everything like that, and all the people who work there are pretty much just city workers because they need to have some form of residency, and then they need lenience for all these big companies to get away with like EPA regulations and shit like that.
Wow.
Yeah, it's really interesting. But it's since changed over the years. So it started off, Davidson's Butcher Supply had a small knife sharpening company that used to be in a like pretty much a shack in a gas station parking lot, and grew into big companies that are making sausage blends and things like that. It just sharpened knives for all the packing house and slaughter workers. And so it just grew from there.
Interesting.
And yeah, last time I was driving in that part of the city, you pass by the old, the old Farmer John pork processing facility. And it's like the biggest thing you've ever seen with no windows. It's like a 4-story building that goes on and on and on and on.
Really?
Yeah, and more, I think like the most pigs in America are processed there. And those pigs are born inside and never see outside.
No kidding.
Yeah. Like workers have to take like full showers and, things like that to interact with the animals because they're so scared of bringing in outside diseases to wipe out the herds.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Huh. That's still there?
Yes. And the outside of the building is painted with this majestic fields of, green and farmers wrestling hogs and whatnot, but it's really not that.
And where in relation to LA is this?
This is, I'd say, probably like 20 minutes outside the city, but in like a heavily industrial area.
Yeah, I've heard about all the like hidden kill floors in downtown LA.
Yeah. And yeah, it's certainly a concrete area. It's like, obviously you've been to my house and you've seen the animal hide rugs that I have, right? Mm-hmm. So like a place like Chico Rivera or, these big slaughterhouses in Los Angeles that kill so many head a day. Like there's big ones, and people don't
really.
Yeah, and they slaughter their animals, ship their hides to Mexico because the process they do is more lenient than doing it here in the States.
Yeah.
And then they go to the LA garment district to be sold for like leathers and things like that. So you could go to, it took me a while to get all this information, but me and Melissa were determined one day. We ended up going to the garment district, going to like different ethnic cultures of like part of LA. There's like, it's very weird. It's very set up like, over 100 years ago. And it's still very much like that today, where like there's only certain Middle Eastern groups in this area, and there's only certain, I don't know how to describe it other than that. But we go to the garment district, and then we get told about like, oh, this is how much I could pay give you a hide, and it's not that much. And they brought out like 4 of them, and they're like, all right, where do we get them and all that. And after about like 4 hours of running around downtown, they told us to go to Vernon, where all the packing houses were. We walked into a warehouse where there was probably, I don't know, 20,000 hides, all ready to be sold as raw stamps for leather goods. And they sold them to us for like, I think like $33 for like a ready to use hide.
No kidding.
Yeah. From like some Brahmal, but it has good coloring, so I like it. But yeah, that's what I like about, I don't know, like a lot of old cities have that people just don't really know of. I've been to places out like in Corona, California, like where you're all of a sudden like in the suburbs, and then there's some like crazy fucking custom exempt slaughterhouse right next to some, someplace.
Like a school or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a, I didn't know this, but right downtown in the small town that I lived in, I mean, it was like the biggest town in any direction for quite a ways, but I had no idea, but right downtown there's a slaughterhouse. I didn't know it until like a couple of years ago. Yeah. Had no idea.
Yeah.
Same thing in Detroit. There's like in downtown Detroit, you'd have no idea, but they're there.
Yeah, there's someone told me that there's like a custom exempt halal slaughterhouse in like downtown Seattle.
Really?
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah.
How would we not know about that? It must be like down in Georgetown or something.
I'm thinking it's down near like all the warehouses and like where people don't go.
Like Sodo
Yeah.
or whatever. Mm-hmm.
But like they're telling me like, yeah, it's the kind of place you could buy an animal and they kill it for you. And I know there's places like that in New York City too.
No kidding.
Yeah. And then this is a call to listeners out there. If you live in a metropolitan area, or not even like a major one, but if you live in like a city and you know of like a secret slaughterhouse, just let us know. You don't have to tell us their location. Just like tell us their story. That would be pretty cool.
Yeah, I'd love to hear about that.
Yeah, because I love when I'm driving and I see like hidden signs of our industry. Every once in a while I'll see a semi with just like whole boned out intact carcasses from like a high rail, and I'm like, oh, that's probably all the rendering coming from shanks,
Mm-hmm.
or you see like a semi with like stacks and stacks of birds going up to like Draper,
Yep.
or like seeing like wondering where all the pod trucks of like beef are going and whatnot.
Yeah. There's a little tiny town. I think the population's like 100 people up the road from where I live.
Mm-hmm.
Teensy little place. I mean, there's not even a stop sign. There's just like a cluster of houses and a post office for some reason. But there's this one building that sits back off the road, probably 50 yards, and like the whole building looks like it's made of concrete. And there's like no windows, and there's a ramp that goes up to a dock. And I kept thinking to myself, like, man, that looks like an old slaughterhouse. And as it turns out, it totally is.
Yeah. Yeah, like I was just at the gas station and I saw a truck with a vacuum tumbler in the back of it. And I was just like, I wonder what they're doing with that.
Yeah.
And then when I was visiting my dad, just like out of the corner of my eye, I saw this building and I asked my dad, I was like, what is that? And he's like, because he was telling me about some butcher shop. I was like, oh, is it that place right there? And he's like, no. And because I saw a loading dock with a rail sticking out.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, well, that's something.
Yeah. Did you ever find out what it was?
No. I love old rail systems, though.
Yeah. How was your Valentine's Day? Did you guys do anything romantic?
Yeah. We had takeout.
Nice.
Had takeout Mexican food and then ate because Harrison was asleep and we ate super quietly because we didn't want to wake him up.
Where'd you get your take? Did you go to Jalapenos?
No, I went to Dos Agaves, which translated two agaves. And it's the place in Marysville. It's pretty close to us. They serve pretty good margaritas.
Oh, nice.
But we didn't get any because you can't really get margaritas to go.
I was just telling somebody about this place in Chicago that they would deliver until like 4 or 5 in the morning, and they would deliver you like a 32 ounce or a 40 ounce margarita in a styrofoam cup.
Wow. There's this place in Santa Barbara that like would deliver you alcohol, but like all the way up until like 1:55. If you placed your order or something.
Yeah.
And it was just meant for like fucked up people.
Yeah.
By the time it shows up, you forget why it's even there. Who are you? Get out of here. What about you? What do you do for Valentine's Day? Peruse the misconnections on.
Do they still have that?
No, I think when Trump made sex working dangerous, that Craigslist got rid of that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. What did I do? I think I was at work.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And you're in a position of power, right? So did you make anyone be your Valentine?
I sure did not.
That's good.
Yeah. No, I'd better not say anything else. No, I didn't. No, I did not. I took myself out on a date this weekend, though, so that was nice.
That was good.
Yeah, I got stuck, as I mentioned before, in between a couple mountain passes, so got myself a sleazy motel and got myself a bottle of wine, and I laid in bed in the sleazy motel and watched diners, drive-ins, and dives for hours on their television.
Now, so the last time I got stuck in a sleazy motel in Shasta was probably 4 years ago.
Yeah.
And it smelled like someone was smoking next to me the entire time.
Yeah, my bed smelled like a cigarette.
And the TV was like a TV from 2000.
Yeah.
It was like the nicer Zenith like TV, but with like a tube TV.
Yeah.
And I was like, what the fuck? And it was very weird and awful. Was it like that?
No, actually, the television was mounted on the ceiling above the bed.
Weird.
But also mounted on the ceiling above the bed was a medium-sized mirror.
That's sleazy.
And so, like, I could imagine what this setup had been used for in the past. However, for me, it was just me, like, looking, watching Guy Fieri on the ceiling and then looking over and seeing myself once in a while, and it would, like, startle me. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I just couldn't shake the feeling of being watched.
Because you were.
Even though it was me. Yeah.
By the creepy guy who works at the hotel.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it was definitely a two-way mirror, and he was, like, up in the attic looking down.
Was it a packed hotel because it was like because of the weather?
No, I think most of the people that were making that drive had enough money to, like, go to a regular hotel. Okay. This guy came and knocked on my door at 7 o'clock in the morning to ask me how I was enjoying my experience.
Not very well. 7 o'clock in the morning. We're talking.
I mean, what does that mean?
I don't know. Was there a guest book? Maybe he felt upset that he didn't fill it out yet.
It could have been that. I mean, I don't know if he was used to people just, like, ODing in there or something. But yeah, he came to check on me. Like
7 o'clock is routinely make sure everyone's alive. Did he have a fentanyl pin? Not a fentanyl pin, but no, you know what I mean.
Yeah, the anti.
Yeah. Well, did he have some fentanyl?
No, I don't even know what that shit is anymore, man. That's what all the new kids are doing.
Yeah, but they get it from all the old people.
Yeah. Yeah. Speaking of fentanyl, you ever use one of those rib pullers, like for hogs? It's got like the handle, and then it's got, like, at a 90-degree angle, there's like a blade, and you, like, wrap it around
the rib, and then you pull
rib.
it. Yeah,
and then you pull down. You ever use one of those? I
have made my own and used them.
Yeah.
Just using wire, and they always break.
Yeah.
But F. Dick makes 2 styles of them.
Yeah, I'm looking at one of them right now. It looks pretty cool.
And I know people who use them and things like that, but it's for, like, fast-paced packing house work where, like, you're really going to be relying on someone else to get those, because it's going to leave the knuckles of the ribs on it.
Yeah.
So you're going to need, I don't know what your process is, if they're going straight into a tumbler afterwards or not. But you just need a second pair of eyes to make sure the cartilage is removed.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then another thing is, like, if you those would work if you press your bacon. But if you don't press your bacon, it's going to be wavy because of your pull marks. But it's also going to increase your margin if you're okay with it.
Yeah.
And
yeah,
then,
absolutely. That's kind of what I'm thinking.
And then, but a bacon presser that forms your bacon is like $20,000.
What the hell do you want to form your bacon for?
So it would press it so it's all the same thickness using pressure.
Like, so like you mean
your
like
belly.
So like all of the slices look the same?
Yes.
That's stupid.
Yeah.
I mean, what's the point even?
Well, if you're like Farmer's John or you're someplace that is more like doing it based on a visual spec where they want,
yeah,
yeah,
that makes sense. Interesting. You ever use Weazened clips or like the Weazened
like a bung clip or a Weazened,
or like the ring expander? Yeah, you ever use either of those?
No, I use butcher twine.
Yeah, me too.
All that shit, I think. Like, I've used zip ties in the past, but my experiences with zip ties is they'll often pull and rip the weaves, and then butcher string, like, biodegrades, so I have no problem, like, leaving that on my viscera.
Agreed, yeah.
Where some people may have a problem with that. I don't. And I also think you could get, but I've used bung bags.
Yeah.
But those things are useless. They don't cinch down tight enough or anything like that.
The ones with the ties like right in them?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was looking for those. I couldn't find them.
Yeah. They're just like, you might as well just put like a booty cover on. Like,
yeah.
Because that's essentially what they are. They're kind of weak.
That makes sense.
The thing that I've used those the most for is winch control covers, so you don't overspray and ruin your winches.
Yeah, no kidding.
But with bongs, I think it's important to put a bag over it. But those self cinching ones are useless. If anything, I would use a butcher twine or you'd use the zip tie. But again, if you're really concerned with what goes into rendering, you're probably going to want to remove that.
I like to use a 12x16 shrink bag because they're cheap.
Yeah,
and then I like to line like 20 rubber bands up my arm, and then when I put the bag, I'll cut like a little finger hole in the bung, and then I put the bag over it, and then I can just take the rubber band that's already on my arm, and just slide it down onto the bag, so I don't have to. Now,
do you cut the finger holes with the hide on or the hide off?
I actually do it with right now I bung. Right now, my bunging procedure is different than it's ever been because I'm working a high rail, and so I'm bunging with hide on right now. But I prefer to bung hide off.
Okay.
If given my choice, I much prefer hide off.
So let's say your animal's butt's clean, and you're working a landing platform, high rail, like you're describing. Seam it out, but seam out a triangle, including the anus and vagina, depending on the animal, and leave that hide and that triangle on, and then seam everything out, poke 2 holes in it, then bung out, because with that hide on there, it is going to allow it to, even though like sheep and cows don't have the muscles that humans and pigs have, where the butt is naturally tight. It's still going to help prevent shit from coming out if that's on there.
Yeah, true.
So that's how I would recommend. If it's clean, seam it out, leaving that triangle on those bits, and then bung it out, and then cover that all with a bung bag and tie it or rubber band it or whatever.
That's pretty much what I do. The vagina actually makes a great place to put the finger hole.
Yeah. It just get it in there. And then when you pull that bung and you punch out the side so it loosens up from that oyster steak, which is, we all know what holds the anus and allowing the animal to poop. And a lot of the times when I worked a final rail, I would see many oyster steaks covered in shit.
Oh, Jesus, really?
Yeah, because somebody's elbows were poopy.
Somebody's freaking elbows, yep.
Some Jeremy's.
Jeremy never washes his arms off.
Yeah, and then the other Jeremy's would not trim it out.
That's right. Just hit the apron with some lukewarm water for like 2 seconds, and that's their version of cleaning in between carcasses.
Yeah.
Yep. Real quick, let's talk about scales. Portioning scales. Why the shit are they so expensive?
What do you mean by portioning scales?
Just like a little portion control scale that you might do if you're like on a portion cutting station. Something that goes up to, say, 5-10 pounds. It's like a kitchen scale, like a glorified kitchen scale, basically. Why are they freaking $300 or $400?
Well, is this thing going to... Here's the thing. Is this one that is going to need to meet weights and measures? Or is this just to get a rough idea? Because if it's...
No, this is weights and measures shit. NSF certified.
Okay. Because bench scales for cutting, I would recommend the cheap, non-electric, just fucking counterweight scale. That goes up to like 10 pounds or whatever. And then anything that you get you put a label on, yes, it's going to be certainly expensive. Or that prints out a label. So, because and then anything you use for portioning restricted ingredients should also be calibratable and certified by weights and measures as well. The main thing is like your kitchen scales has a built-in system to really account for the weight tray and doesn't have a true tear on it. Like those things, and like the ones we use, I forget what company they are, but they're very expensive. And we have like 4 of them for just weighing stuff. And we get them calibrated or trued by weights and measures. And then they or not by weights and measures. Weights and measures is the company that makes sure they're verified. Yeah. We get them trued by a third party. Yeah. And by the scale party. We'll send them out for all of our maintenance. And they have a sticker on them that's good for a calendar year. And then the departments of weights and measures, I've never seen one of these people in my entire life come out to Commerce and we'll check to see if that sticker's there and it's still in compliance. The USDA, depending on their task, may check to see if that sticker's in compliance. But I've only had that happen like twice. Yeah, those random task generator apps that they have, I don't know, they don't hit that one all that often. Yeah, but every day for our sodium nitrate scale, we true it in-house. We have a document paperwork that I fill out saying at this time, this scale ID, I put 50 gram weight on it and the scale read 50 grams. Yeah. I don't know why they're so expensive. It's weird. Even the ones that are like, I'm looking at this thing in this catalog right now, and it's the same, company, same model. There's just one's for legal trade, one's not for legal trade, and they're both $3.99. There's no price difference. One's just legal, one's not. And this is just for portioning stuff. Just a frickin' portion scale. I'm even looking at the ones that are non-electric, just the counterweight ones. Not legal for trade. $275. Yeah, see, I would use those ones and then what you're going to actually, just for portion control. Then whatever you put your weight on,
Well, unfortunately, I got weight on labels, unfortunately, so that's where that's at.
I'm looking up scales right now for you. So, this is riveting for our listeners. As I look up.
Just as I was mentioning just a moment ago, that random task generator, in case anyone out there is wondering, how is it that this USDA inspector has been in my plant every day for the last 9 months, and they've never said anything about the tops of the lights in the processing room or the blah, blah, blah. Well, the reason why it just dawned on them, friends, is that they have an app on their laptop, and it generates a random task every day.
Yeah.
And that's that. So they don't even think of that shit. Like, the computer thinks of it, and then they just go check it.
That's the same person you were praising for showing up during the shutdown, David, just so you
know. Rats off to you.
All right, David. Where does it say this for weights? The digital stainless for most preferred accuracy, liquid digital, blah, 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 blah. Max scale certification NT. What's that? Legal trade scale. Okay. So, I'm over here at Davidson's Butcher Supplies website. And I'm just looking at a portioning scale for $160. That's good for legal trade.
Really? That's a way better deal than what I'm looking at right now.
Okay.
That's like half.
Then that's for a Torre scale. I've used Torre scales before.
Yeah, me too.
And then cask their casts are going to be usually more expensive, but let me see what their portioning scales go for. Their water resistant portioning scale for legal trade is $150.
Whoa.
And then there's two brands I don't know of. So, their counterweight scale is more expensive than their cask I just mentioned.
Huh. Interesting.
So, and Cask is a company that I've used in the past. They're really good. Davidson's provided great customer service with those in the past.
Huh.
But,
well, I guess I'm going to get my scales through them.
Yeah. What other things do you want to talk about? Since we're obviously not doing our Mad Libs.
So here's the thing. I can't do the Mad Libs right now because I am at work, and it just dawned on me that, like, I can't. There's no way I'll be able to explain those things being in my history if it came up. and trust me, I just had a bunch of stuff pulled up on there, and I was looking at it, and I was like, dude, no, this is how this happens. This is how people get fired. I need to not do this anymore.
And you put your dick away.
So we'll have to wait on the Mad Libs.
Okay. Have any other questions that I could try to troubleshoot?
I don't know. Let's talk about equipment.
Okay.
I've got to buy a hoist coming up here quite soon. I'm kind of excited about that.
I don't know about brands of hoists. I think 10 years ago I would have been able to tell you brands of hoists to use. But I could tell you.
Yeah. I like the Harrington ones because they have a good. They're like rated at they're a good price for something rated pretty heavy, and they've got a good speed to them. They're not too slow.
Yeah, so you want to. That's the one thing I know for sure is that you're going to want to have a high speed hoist. That everyone recommends those more. I would also pay more money for one that's just better. I don't know if more money equals better, but working in slaughter and working in crazy humid environments and shit like that, I've had to deal with so many hoist fails.
Oh man, really?
Yeah, just not failing in the sense of just from switches, going out all the time on the handles, from a brake being tripped and you have to go upstairs because the hoist is physically in attic and you just have the chain sticking out of the room, and then you have to go and fix that, to where gears slowly give out, where it'll raise the animal, all the way up, but then give it about 20 minutes, it starts it will be all the way back on the ground again.
Because of the did you say because of the controllers getting wet?
No, well, controllers getting wet is the most common thing that we would have to fix, but just humidity and just gearboxes and shit just failing over time.
Yeah.
I feel like when I worked slaughter, about once a week we were taking a hoist down.
Oh man, what?
Yeah, and this is how we would take them down, David. Got a kill floor with a gravity rail with a drop rail system on it, so you had to hoist up some of our hoists were 15, 20 feet up in the air, something stupid, and we'd get two people on two different ladders because these things are fucking huge.
Oh no.
And then carry them down together, or two people walking up a ladder. It just I just remember there's a time where we're just fuck this. Nope.
Dude, that's a nightmare.
Yeah. You need to rent a scissor lift because this is too dangerous.
That's crazy, man.
Yeah. So, and those were all the same brand of hoists too.
Were they the orange ones?
They're the yellow ones.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's interesting. We've had a lot of issue with the pendants or the controllers lately, where a beef will just start, a beef will just start just dropping.
Yeah.
You can't stop it.
Yeah, dude, with that, just cover your controllers. I'm sure you do.
We do, but it still happens somehow. I don't know how.
Well,
and they're the water resistant ones too.
Oh yeah. Well, sometimes if you cover them incorrectly, it's even worse. Because I remember one time this person had a bag over the controller, and their bag was just filled with water.
I mean, I just like to picture the sanitation crew just holding the control in their hand and spraying the 180 hose full bore onto it.
Yeah, just peeing on it.
What is that? A piece of fat?
Yeah.
Let me spray this for 5 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah, the hoists have always been a problem with me. And then just things of just a lot of people don't know, and why it's always important to with slaughter equipment, one thing, or meat processing equipment, one thing that I've truly believe is even if you've used it before and you've never set it up, or even if you have set it up, always read the instructions.
Yeah.
Because there's with a hoist, there's an oil reservoir, and they don't come with oil. So, and you need to buy the specific kind of oil and then fill that, and put it in. And you don't want to put it in once it's already 30 feet up in the air or something stupid.
No, you don't.
And you just, other things you got to think about is if you're out there, are going to hardwire it, or is it going to be, what do you call twist lock? And twist lock's so easy for maintaining, but you're also introducing an area where moisture could get into. So,
yeah. Yikes.
But what
hoist problems?
Yeah. Then, if I were you, David, what position is this hoist going to be for?
What's that? What's the new one going to be used for?
Yeah.
We're considering going to cradle, and so it'll be used for landing beef onto the cradle, laying them down.
Yeah, and then my brother would tell you to get a high-speed hoist for that. And then I would also, so what I don't know what your setup is, but ideally is you have your knock box, and then you have a circle I-beam with hoist sleds on them, and you could have like 3 of them on there. So you could have 3 beef bleeding out while you're legging out some beef or cradling some beef. Then you have it going over to your landing station.
See, that's the tough part is that we don't have an I-beam right there. So we're having to fabricate some sort of like double roller or something to go on a high rail.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not sure how that's going to work just yet, but we'll see.
I would fabricating shit's expensive, and you have the infrastructure if you have a slaughterhouse with a rail system to put an I-beam that already exists, and they make sleds for like $300. So like it would just take like a crew of 2 people, like who don't even really need to know what they're doing to install it.
Well, unfortunately, there's not even an I-beam above the rail. It's kind of a funny setup.
Yeah, but I'm saying like go past your FRP and stuff into your attic because
I see.
And your I-beam will be exposed in your slaughter room, but will be braced up above like your rail system because you're building strong enough to support a rail system, which means it's tied into some heavy shit.
Yeah, true. Yeah, that is very true.
So, and then that, because if you're fabricating something, I would just not fabricate something and then do something that would end up working better.
Well, that's what I want.
Yeah. That's for any of you guys out there. This is called Free Advice with me.
Let's see, what else? Oh, man, have you ever used... So we were talking about stoners recently. I think we were talking about Cash Special. I don't know if we were talking about it on the show or if we were just talking about it. But have you ever used one of those Jarvis, like, long-handled hammer style, like the power-actuated, like, non-penetrative concussion ones? It's like got a long handle, and it has like the shape of a sledgehammer, and you do like a long arc of a swing and come right down on the beef's head, and it knocks them out. You ever see one of these things?
And it's just pure weight. It's not like,
there's a charge in it. There's a cartridge in it. So you set off the detonation by the impact.
Yeah.
But you swing it like a sledgehammer. It's the coolest thing, man. This other slaughterhouse kind of by us has one, and I got to see it in action, and it's really cool, man. But definitely would take a certain amount of practice.
Yeah. No, I haven't seen those.
Oh, man, you got to look it up. It's super cool.
Who makes it? Jarvis?
Yeah, Jarvis makes it. It's their Type C impact fire, they call it. Pretty cool.
I just learned that, what do you call it? That F-Dick makes stunners and captive bolts.
Really?
Yeah, and they look pretty slick.
I would trust that.
Yeah, like they're like, it's like they're pointy, like almost like a huge ass syringe.
F-Dick stunner. I'm gonna look it up.
You find it?
Not yet. It's all this German. God. Let's see. Dick captive bolt.
Oh, I see it. That does look weird, David.
Oh, the long handle thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, it's crazy.
I'm gonna save this for photos.
Oh, wow. This F-Deck stunner is slick looking.
Yeah.
Whoa. Yeah. It says you can use it for ducks and geese, too.
That sounds like a nightmare.
Yeah, it does. Oh, Jesus Christ, it sure does. I'm so glad that turkey season's over. I hope it never comes back.
Yeah, they make like a few different kinds.
Wow, that's really cool.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody out there that's listening to this, get on your computer and keep up with this. There's cool shit on here.
Dude, they have a tiny one. I just found a rabbit stunner.
Really?
Yeah. That's pretty cool.
Does a child have to operate it?
I don't know, and it's only $64 American. That's pretty cheap.
Or it's a great thing to buy for parties.
Yeah.
You know, if you're into that sort of like MTV's Jackass sort of crowd. Remember that show?
I bet it does. It doesn't even look like it uses a charge. It just looks like it uses a spring.
Wow.
Like you pull it back and then there's a release. Yeah, it is. It's all spring. That's crazy.
Wild.
Yeah, that'd probably work better than a 2x4. That's what I used to use for rabbits.
Yeah?
Or just grab them by their back legs and slam their head into concrete.
Amazing the noises those things make, isn't it?
I know.
Rabbits, terrible sound.
Yeah. Hey, it reminds me of this little anecdote. Our boss comes in and he's like, we're going to start doing rabbits. We're going to start killing all these rabbits. Da, 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 da. And like I was new in the industry and I was like what? But, like he's going to unload. Like I just imagine like someone unloading like a bunch of rabbits and them just like going through into like whatever pins they wanted. And like,
yeah,
because they would just crawl under like the gates. And I was like, that sounds awful. But what he actually had in mind was like a lot of places use poultry lines and bypass the scalding.
That makes sense.
For rabbits. Because there's a bleed tunnel and then there's, you just pull their hide. Skinning rabbits is really easy. One way you could do it is you could have, people don't realize this, is you could have one person grab like one part of the rabbit and another person grab the other, and then you like pull apart and then deglove both ends of the rabbit at the same time.
Really?
Yeah. You could also like squish guts out of rabbits too, just like rolling them out too, because their bones are so soft.
Really?
Yeah. And you just roll them out their butt.
I'm probably never going to try that.
Yeah. But he did want to put them in the scalding tank. But it was the end of the story. Yeah.
No way.
Yeah. We're like, that wouldn't work. And he's like, we ended up not doing any of it. But because the USDA was like, because we're a USDA inspected plant and like, there's no, at the time, there's no like regulation on how to like properly kill a rabbit.
Really?
Yeah. So I think the boss just used that as an excuse not to pursue it any further.
Sounds like that's a win for you, probably.
Yeah.
Well, I got to go call this electrician because he's not here yet. It's 8 o'clock.
All right. Well, I think we got an episode.
All right. If not, well, I think we do.
Okay. I'm not going to do any editing.
Okay.
All right. Until next time, David.
Keep your knife sharp.
And live in the margin. Bye.